Yo, what is up guys, I'm Noah, welcome back to another Anime Last Stand video. And today's topic of video is all about the summer update, which just recently dropped, and we're going to be going over how you can easily go about it in the best way possible. But guys, before we start, like I always say, I'm trying to become the best Roblox anime YouTuber out there. So if you want to join the journey, a like and subscribe would be much appreciated. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Alright guys, so the summer event did just drop, and it is pretty challenging if you don't know what you're doing, I'm not going to lie. Basically what it is it's a portal. There's a bunch of portals, that's the main thing. The Summer Laguna portals is the main premises of the updates. You do have a new trial that is limited to Sid, but mainly just these portals, which once you climb up the tiers and get to the Celestial Tier 5 to try to get the Secret Portal, it gets pretty hard. And I think, you know, if you're not paying attention and you don't know what you're doing, it's, like I said, will be pretty hard and almost unbeatable. I did die a couple times on these portals, you know, just trying to go through and do it, because without some of the stuff, it's pretty hard. But basically, if you don't know, every time you go to a portal, it basically gives you some tips or, you know, advice on what's possibly going to be in the portal. If I go to any portal, I think some of these have it, yeah, right here. It shows you the elements, which is the first main thing, all right? All the summer portals have 3 elements that the units can possibly have, which is going to be the light, the nature, and the water. If you don't know what this is useful for, basically each of these 3 elements have units that are stronger against them, and it is going to be alright guys. So I couldn't actually get my point across, but basically bring a water, dark, nature, and fire element to this. Sometimes fire element spawns, so you need a water. It doesn't say that, but yeah, I couldn't get my point across, so I just want to pause and clarify that for the video. And there's also one more thing which pops up at the end of the portal. It does tell you some things. Also, you can't really see it when you're on here, but we're going to spawn a portal, complete it with what I'm just telling you guys. And you can see when the portals come out, then they have modifiers, which say either they'll buff physical or magic. And you want to pick the one that will best suit your team. So we're going to spawn in a portal, and we're going to do the portal, what I said, you know, looking at what the elements are going to be, and then using whatever units correspond to that. And then at the end, we'll see what portal will best be to continue with, whether it's, you know, physical or magical. And yeah, we're going to spawn the portal and start it up. Alright, so coming here in the portal, when we start up the match, we're going to see what elements the units will have when when they come out. And that will be, you know, what we are going to be using. So it's fire, which means we're going to be wanting to use water elements. For this, we're going to be using Goku. We're going to put on our farms, whatever, get whatever we need to do. And then fire will be, or water will counter fire, which will be the way to go, which is a 300% damage boost. Which even if you're using, you know, better units than whatever element it is, it's still not going to help you if you don't have, you know, whatever element is going to be better for it. And I might have actually placed down a farm instead of, okay, never mind, we might still be okay. Yeah, we should be good here. A little bit tricky because we do have speedy elements or speedy enemies here to fight against, we know, which not very helpful at all. But we're going to beat this, and again, like I said, at the end we're going to see what portal is best to choose from, and also make sure we pay attention to what the portal is actually going to be, so we can change our units if we need to. Alright, as you can see here, we did beat it pretty easily. Like I said, once you see the element, pick whatever counters it, and you should be good to go. And here, when you do the portal selection, what pops up is the modifiers. If you don't pay attention to the modifiers, the next match you get into might be, you know, a little bit harder than it should be. First off, high cost, I think something to avoid definitely. Immunity, I don't really know what immunity does exactly, but no hit, also don't know what that does exactly, but definitely not high cost. And also, other thing to look at is the physical damage and magical damage buffs. This one, we have, it's all the same, by the way, but it changes every single time. This one is 12% magic and minus 48% physical. So if you have magical units that are going to be better for this, obviously equip those. But as for me, I really can't do it. Even with the physical damage reduction, it still shouldn't be that hard. Like I said, if you bring the right elements to counter them. And there it's going to pick a portal on random because we took too long. But that's mainly how you can do it pretty easily. Like I said, look for whatever units come out, see whatever can counter them, and then put down units that are based on, you know, what can counter. And like I was saying in the beginning, I kind of messed up a little bit, but water, dark, and nature are going to be the best ones to go for. Fire is not needed. Water counters the fire, dark counters the light, and nature counters the water, which, like I said, just pick whatever one comes out and do that pretty easily. And then at the end, if you have physical or magical units that are better for it, so then obviously select those. But as for me, I don't really have any magical units that are better for this. Only good magical units I really have are like Gojo and whatnot, but light is not needed for this event. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed it, again, make sure to like and subscribe. Join my Discord server, join my group, all that good stuff. And you can watch another video on screen right now. If you're not watching my Godly series, you can check that out. Episode 2 just dropped recently, and episode 1's already out. So we had Ichigo and Luffy, and next up is Denji. So hope you guys are going to check that out. And that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you next one. Peace out.